Let's talk about money. For so many of us, it's a source of this constant, low-grade anxiety, isn't it? You know that feeling that no matter what you do, you're always just one surprise bill away from real trouble. But what if I told you the real problem isn't the number in your bank account? What if it's the story you're telling yourself about it?
Okay, be honest. Just for a second. When you pull up that banking app on your phone, what's the very first thing you feel? Is it calm? Or is it that familiar tight little knot in your stomach? If it's the second one, you are definitely not alone. But here's the thing we get wrong. We spend all our energy attacking the symptoms, like trying to stop overspending, when we haven't even diagnosed the root cause, our financial mindset.
And that right there is what we call the money anxiety trap. It's built on one simple fact. Your bank balance is a lagging indicator. Think of it like a scoreboard. It just shows you the results of the game you've already been playing. It's the result of your mindset, not the cause of it. So our goal here is to stop chasing the number and start rewiring the way we actually think and feel about money from the ground up.
So where in the world do we start with something that big? Well, we have to go back, way back to the beginning. The first step is to uncover your money scripts, because pretty much everything you believe about money today was handed to you before you even really knew what money was.
Yeah, psychologists actually have a name for this. They're called money scripts. These are the powerful, totally unconscious beliefs about wealth that got baked into your brain when you were super young, often before you were even 7 years old, and they are still pulling the strings on your financial life today. But here's the most important part. They're just inherited stories. They are not facts, and they can absolutely be rewritten.
And what's wild is how these scripts can be so different. For example, if you grew up hearing things like money doesn't grow on trees, you probably got the scarcity script. And this can mess with you in two weirdly opposite ways. You either hoard every penny out of fear, or you kind of self-sabotage and spend it all, almost like you feel you don't deserve to have it. Then on the flip side, if you grew up seeing people make big, casual purchases, you might have a status script, where your feeling of self-worth is all tangled up in what you can buy.
So I want you to take a second and really think about this. What were the big ones for you? What phrases did you hear all the time as a kid? We can't afford that. Rich people are greedy. You got to save for a rainy day. Just seeing those old tapes for what they are is the first huge step to taking away their power.
Okay, so once you spotted those old scripts, you can start to actively write new ones. And one of the simplest, most powerful ways to start is to change your language. I mean, think about the word budget. Ugh, doesn't it just feel like a punishment, like a diet for your wallet? If it does, let's just toss it out. We're going to make a shift from the negative idea of spending to the much more powerful act of allocating.
Here it is. This is the new mindset in a nutshell. You are the CEO of your life, and every single dollar you have is an employee. This one little change in perspective is huge. It pulls you out of feeling like a victim of your finances and puts you right where you belong, in the driver's seat.
So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, it's a pretty simple three-step process. First, you start seeing your dollars as your team, not just numbers on a screen. Second, you stop thinking you spend them and poof, they're gone. No, you deploy them like you're sending them out on a mission. And third, you consciously allocate them to specific jobs that are meant to build the life you actually want.
Let's make this really concrete. That $5 coffee in the morning, you're no longer wasting money. You're allocating $5 to the job of creating morning energy and maybe a little bit of joy. Putting $50 into savings isn't about depriving yourself, it's allocating $50 to the job of buying your future self some well-deserved peace of mind. See? Every single transaction becomes an intentional investment in your life.
All right, you with me? Because this next idea, this might just be the single most powerful mindset shift you can possibly make. We're going to learn how to calculate the cost of things using your real currency.
Here's the absolute truth. The real cost of anything isn't dollars. It's not euros, it's not yen, it's time. It's your finite, precious, unget-backable life energy.
So, if that's true, then a purchase that costs $150 isn't really $150. So, what is it? It's 10 hours of your life. I mean, think about it. If you make, say, $15 an hour after taxes, that new pair of shoes doesn't cost you money. It costs you 10 hours of your life that you have to be at work, away from your family, away from your hobbies, away from just resting and recharging. And this, right here, gives you the ultimate question to ask before you buy pretty much anything. Is this item really worth that many hours of my one precious life? And you know what? Sometimes the answer is a wholehearted, absolute yes. And that's great.
but you will be shocked at how often, when you frame it this way, that burning desire to buy something just evaporates.
All right, for our final shift, we're going to move from constantly playing defense with our money to finally playing some offense. It's all about adopting what's called the abundance mindset.
There's a saying I love that perfectly sums this up. Frugality is a fantastic defense, but it's a terrible offense. And it's so true. Saving money, cutting costs, that's vital. It's great defense. But there's a hard mathematical limit to it. You can only cut your expenses down to zero. And this really shows you the difference. The defensive scarcity mindset is all about saving and cutting. It's a finite game. And the question it's always asking is, how can I shrink my life to fit my income? But the offensive abundance mindset, it flips the whole script. Its focus is on earning and increasing your value. It's an infinite game. And it asks a much, much more powerful question. How can I increase my value to create the life I want? The difference between those two questions is literally everything.
So, let's just bring it all home. Let's recap your new mindset. Number 1, money is not your master. It's a tool. Number 2, time is your real currency, not dollars. And number 3, you are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the CEO of your life.
Now look, let's be real for a second. You're not just going to flip a switch and undo decades of conditioning. This isn't a magic wand. It's a practice. It takes conscious, consistent effort to build these new ways of thinking, just like building a muscle at the gym.
So I'll leave you with one final thought to carry with you. From now on, every time you make a decision about money, big or small, just ask yourself this one question. In this moment, right now, is money my master or is it my tool? Because the choice, every single time, is yours.